Hello, and welcome everyone. Where's my phone? Here's my phone. Let me get my laptop as well. Hello, everyone. And my phone at least. I'm gonna be having a bit of chit chat today. Not actually going towards any sort of uh coding actually, but more towards the questions and answers. So let me quickly please go to my Create Studio and get more things there as well. But hey, feel free to ask any questions today. It's your day. It's your day. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah ghulam. How are you today? Do I have my streams tips correctly? Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you? I am good, alhamdulillah. I'm good, alhamdulillah. Good, having fun today. Today was a quite chill day, to be honest. It was good overall. I had some fun with in the morning. I had good breakfast, alhamdulillah. Then I rested, which is quite rare. I don't usually do that. But apart from that, everything was really good. How about you? How has your day been today? And uh, I'm probably gonna be just chatting, answering any questions that you might have. Maybe not coding. So throw them questions towards me. Throw the questions. Even if it's about jobs, it's about some things related to your studies, whatever, doesn't matter. It's quite in Pakistan, so I'm not assuming anyone from there would be joining us. But yeah, the rest of the people for sure. I tried to study programming fundamentals the whole day. I tried though, because I have a paper in the morning. That sounds good. Are you studying in a university, or are you in a college? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah wasif. Welcome. You're from UBIT as well. Which year? Which year are you in? Should be sharing this to my newsfeed, but with a message. I'm studying in FOSS University at the moment. Pass out in 2019. How to get remote jobs in Europe or US? Good question. I am going to tell you that in a bit, but for sure. Quickly get this out of the way. I'm just making sure I can see both of the messages everywhere. 2019 was 2 years ago. So right now, are you working in a software house? And in terms of remote jobs, I think I shared that before as well. All you need to do is you need to go and find out different websites where you can upload your resume. And once you do so, then you should be able to get different notifications whenever there's a new job on their website or something like that, you know. So there are different, for instance, in Pakistan, you have rosie.pk. Similarly, in other sorry, in other countries, you do have other websites. So all you need to go is just go to those websites, upload your resume, find out any openings that there are, and then just try to subscribe to their newsletters. That is important because that's what I usually do, or what I did before, and that helped me quite a lot. So I hope that makes sense, Vasif. Let's see. Asimpai, I'm in first semester and my mind is inclined to data science. I need some advice on how to get more in the field. I would suggest try out different projects. That would be, I mean, so for me, I think the most important thing as a software engineer is to build different things. So what you would say, what I would suggest to you is to build something small. For instance, try to look into some sort of image recognition, um, algorithms, build something with that, do some analytics or analysis on different sort of data, try to create some sort of AI or ML project, maybe as simple as, you know, if someone types something in on their Facebook chat or in any input. I mean, you might have seen Grammarly, right? When you type something in Grammarly, it shows you a smiley or a particular emoji based on the sentiment that you have. For instance, in if in any input I'm typing something that is sad, then Grammarly would show me that that is sad. So you could try implementing something like that. And I would just say try implementing different things, Holam, and then you should be able to get more into it, because when you try building stuff, you have to research, and when you do that, that's how you get more into it. Rehan Humayun is asking prerequisite for learning React Native, please. I would say React. You could, first of all, you need to know about JavaScript. Second, you need to know about React in that case, if that makes sense. So I would say these two things are definitely a must for React Native. Although I would say, I mean, these would make it better or make it easier for you for React Native, but they're not 100% essential. I mean, you could jump into React Native, but then you would have to learn things on the go. It would make it much easier for you if you knew already about React Native, if you know about Flexbox, because React Native uses Flexbox for styling, positioning, the layout itself. So I would highly suggest that use the knowledge of React in React Native, also Flexbox. That is for sure really important. So yeah, Rehan, I hope that makes sense. What are the key points you are looking for when you consider any resume? I would highly suggest to have as small resume as possible. I mean, in terms of layout. So in terms of layout, your resume should be very minimal. Your resume should show at least your last three jobs. I would not say, hey, mention all the jobs that you've done in the past. It depends. Like, I mean, as a junior software engineer, you might not even have a lot of things. But for me, for instance, who has done work in different companies, I think I have had more than 4 employments as far as I remember. So I make sure that my top 3 or most recent 3 employments are in place. I do mention what I did in that particular job per se. Actually, I think I cannot show it on my stream, unfortunately. But I would basically suggest that you have your experiences. Don't put things like the things that you learned for fun, like Microsoft Office as a skill set. I've seen people writing Windows as a skill set in their resume, and I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. But do not put a lot of things in your resume. Put the ones that you are really good in. Do not put PHP just because you implemented a hello world program in PHP. That doesn't show that you have PHP knowledge. Similarly, if you just started looking into React Native, do not say that you have React Native skills unless you have created an application with that. It could be for fun, but a to-do application or just an application that took you like 10 hours, that doesn't show that you have really good skills in that particular technology. At least that's what I think. So I would probably not consider um, different resumes which have like tons of languages mentioned: C Sharp, JavaScript, PHP, and then what else? C++, Fortran, COBOL, blah blah blah. So I would only see the ones that show that you are expert in the job that you are applying for. Then also make sure to provide your GitHub, your LinkedIn, any sort of portfolio. A really high plus for me when I'm resuming when I'm viewing different resumes is to see actual portfolio. So when I see actual portfolio, then I say, okay, I can see stuff working, which means this person has done something. But obviously those portfolio, if they are just like to do applications that everyone does it, I don't know how to feel about that. I wouldn't probably count it too important in that case. Are you into cryptocurrency and NFTs? No, no. I've seen a lot of scholars or Islamic scholars which have given fatwas around that. So it's sort of a doubtful field, but that's just my opinion. I tend to stay away from cryptocurrency at least. I'm not sure how to think about NFTs as well. But yeah, maybe NFTs are fine, but I have not looked into yet. I was thinking about the fact that, hey, what if, because NFTs are supposed to have, I mean, the reason NFTs exist is because they show the original ownership of the items, right? And I was thinking, what if we could implement some sort of a mechanism where you could only have, let's say, um, for code, for instance. Like if I have written a code, even if someone copies it from Stack Overflow or GitHub, then it still should have my footprint in that, right? The concept of NFTs is really interesting. Yes, I definitely agree, and I do think that they're cool as well. That's why everyone is obviously is working on it. Um, but yeah, I mean the ownership part is really good. I'm just thinking about how would you regulate everything, because right now it's a really big problem in the industry that anyone can claim any sort of digital asset. They take screenshots, they copy paste this, and then they use it, and there's no catching them. Maybe in a few years that would be completely different. um but I would love to see that in code. I mean, if I'm writing a code for a particular project, even if someone else tries to copy it, which is fine, even if it's open sourced, um, no one should be able to use it without at least having that metadata within that code, even if it's one line of code. I think it's going to be really difficult, but that is something I would love to see for sure. Yes, that's the problem. I mean, anyone can copy any sort of code and then misuse it. But maybe in the coming years it could turn around, it could be different. Obed, hello, how are you doing, my friend? How is you? What do you suggest the key features when someone changed their tech stack, like from Java to JavaScript or web stack with JS? I finally published that package to npm. The text one with the text animation, right? That's super cool. Can you share the link here in the chat? That's super awesome. Awesome. That's super cool. Would you like to write an article on that you want that you can publish on the Code with SN repository? I mean, I would be happy to host that article and add you as an author to Code with SN. So you could announce that, hey, this is what I've built and this is what it does, blah, blah, blah. And I would be happy to add that. Apart from that, I've just, all right, did I miss a message? Yeah. What do you suggest the key features when someone changed their tech stack? I think it doesn't matter. For instance, I changed my, I initially started with Angular, then I switched to React. I worked with React for quite a while now, but I never actually switched from Angular per se. Amazing, you would love to. Awesome. Then I think all we need to do, Obed, is just create a pull request with the article yourself. You might have to use the MDX syntax to do that, but yes, definitely you can do that. So I was talking about the tech stack. So I first started with Angular, then I started working with React, and even before React, I worked with Java for about 9 months. Java, MySQL. I think the thing is the languages and the frameworks, they do not matter. That is honestly the truth. No one cares about what language you have built the product in. Specifically, you can put the link in YouTube comments. Just share that on Discord. Then that's fine. The thing is that your customers, they don't care if you have built your mobile application with React Native, or if you have built with Ionic, or if you have built with Native. All they care about is that the performance that you're going to provide them, right? So I think it's, if you change your stack and if you think that it is for more exposure, or let's say you want to be able to be good at more than one stacks, then that's a fair trade. You can switch your stack and then you can try different things out. That's perfectly fine. No problem at all. That's what I think. So suggestion for that is a really good question. I would say that when you change your tech stack, it is very likely that you're going to get a lot of trouble and you're going to be facing very much difficulty at the beginning because you completely change your stack, right? For example, I can tell you this, that I worked for a front end for 2 years. Then I started working on Java, and it took me about 2 to 3 days for just figuring out really small things. I mean, I was so angry. I was so pissed that, hey, this is a really small thing. I should have been able to do it. And I was like, hey, if this was in Angular, I would have done this in like one hour or maybe 30 minutes. But this has taken me 2 days. What the hell? And that is exactly the same with any new thing that you try. It takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, and then eventually you get better. When we talk about experience in software engineering, I often say this very same thing, that experience means that you have already solved that problem. You have already faced that problem or a similar problem, and then you do the same thing, right? So that is what I usually say. And if you haven't solved that problem before, it's going to take more time. And I would say just do not be afraid or pissed by that. Habibur Rahman says hi. Hello to you too, Habib. Everyone watching on Facebook, make sure to react on this stream. It really helps the stream. It really makes the Facebook algorithm really happy. So if you want to support the stream, make sure to react to the stream as well. It was just a random discussion with my friend Ghulam. Apart from the one, I've just had a feeling about how you see Google Drive lets you store loads of data. If one day your drive gets locked and says you must pay amount of your money to just view your data, imagine the way you get robbed off. That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, this is something that is there, but I wouldn't say they would do that unless. So the thing is that in order for Google to work, they need to make sure that they have provided their users the privacy policy, the terms of usage, and they have them agreed to that, right? Now, if they change their privacy policy and then you agree to them without even looking at that, then that's a problem. But if you don't agree to them and then they try to rob you, then that's something that, you know, the government or the authorities, they will not potentially let Google do that. That's what I think. Hamza Ilyas is asking, React Native कब सिखा रहे हैं आप? Inshallah, from, I'm not sure, but maybe in 2 to 3 months, most likely. The thing is, in order to teach you that, I need to first create it. I need to first create a whole application and then do it. So I've not done that. So I would have to create a new application, maybe something like an Uber clone or something like that. And maybe then I can teach React Native. So for sure. Do you have to learn something before getting into React Native? Ideally, no. I mean, it depends on person to person. If you're really sharp, you can get into it right away. But it would really help you if you go through JavaScript first and then you go into React Native. And the reason is that React Native is in JavaScript, right? Also, it would really help you if you do Flexbox, CSS Flexbox before going into React Native, because that will also help you a lot. So make sure you at least do these two things. Ubaid, I got your message. I'm going to continue chatting with you on Discord regarding this as well. Is data structure knowledge necessary for web development jobs? I would say yes, to some extent. It really helps understanding those jobs, specifically if you are a beginner, right? So I would say yes. Is data structure knowledge? Yeah, already answered that. And Ali Abdullah, if you are looking into data structures, if you're looking into data structure videos, I already have a series if you have not checked it out. So check it out on YouTube. If you go to my channel, you should be able to see a whole data structure and algorithm series. And I'm not done yet. I recently uploaded the linked list data structure, and now I'm working on the doubly linked list data structure. So it's good to have that knowledge. Hamza is asking, what about your thoughts about chatbot development? It's a good choice. I have developed the Twitch bot or Twitch chatbot. If you have any ideas of about some other chatbots, definitely feel free to do so. I mean, any kind of projects that you build are good choices. You need to build different things to be good at things. So I would highly suggest doing that. Salim says, complete Flexbox game. Yes, you can definitely use the Flexbox Froggy game to be better. Definitely. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. I mean, no one would potentially ask you what is a linked list, or maybe they would. I mean, they probably wouldn't ask you to tell them what does a bubble sort do. Maybe they would give you as a code challenge of bubble sort, but there is high chance that if you are a freshie and you don't have things to show, you might be asked about data structures, linked lists, something else as well. It depends. Yes, so that is completely possible that happens. Awesome. Any more questions? How to master CSS? Practice. The key to getting better at anything is practice. Simple as it is. Simple. You need to be really good at understanding, or let's say if you want to be good at cricket or football or any other technology or sorry skill set, you need essentially to be good at that by practicing. And that is all that I would suggest for you. Looking at further questions. Hey everyone on Facebook, please make sure to react to this stream if you have not. That really helps Facebook algorithm, and that also makes sure that this stream is shared with multiple people so we can help out more people. So if you have not done that already, please make sure to do so. I'm looking at some other questions as well now. One is how to master CSS. I already told that. I have my semester's ATM and at the moment, and I'm learning C as well, but in the summer break I'll try to learn JavaScript for sure. I think C was the first language that I also, or C++, that I learned in the beginning. Currently I'm learning AI and chatbot development certification using Alexa. Dialogflow from Celani Mass IT training. Awesome, that's a really good choice. It's a good institute in general. I mean, I can tell you one funny story, but but make sure you don't tell anyone. And that was I did take money from my parents in 2013 or something to go to Celani, and then I spent that money and never went to Celani. But then I studied a lot, and then I cleared the Microsoft something JavaScript, HTML, CSS certification with 900 plus marks. So yeah, I didn't go to Celani, but I did clear that exam. Looking at further questions. But Hamza, that's really good. Continue working on it and do, when you create something, when you create the chatbot, make sure to show it with others as well. All right, looking at other things as well. How is it going? How you know you are up to the mark in specific technology, and what is the best way to learn a new framework or language on minimal time? So here's the thing. When it comes to time, the question is, and I often say this to, and this is something that I find in a lot of people, that they do want to get things done in a very short small of time. And I usually ask, what do you have to do once that time is over? Let's say I want to learn JavaScript in 3 months. What will you do after 3 months? Are you going to go to let's say to travel via boat? Are you going to travel the world? Are you going to start your own business? What is it that stops you from learning after 3 months? Right? So the thing is that, and I'm not pointing out to you, Mansoor, or saying that that's bad. This is something that's really common, right? So when we watch movies, when we play games, we don't worry about time. But when it comes to learning, everyone keeps asking me, how long do I have to practice to become really good at JavaScript? How many months required to be a full JavaScript developer? Or how much time it takes to learn full JavaScript? What is full JavaScript? JavaScript is evolving every day. JavaScript is evolving, or even like as you and me talking, there is probably a new JavaScript framework that is being developed right now as we talk. So the thing is that the question that you asked, Mansoor, that is very good question. And that is, what is the best way to learn a new framework or language in the minimal amount of time? So you're not talking about a fixed time, but how much time it takes, or how can I learn it fast? And the best way to do it is to create something, right? And the reason I'm telling you this is that when you learn something in theory, it takes you more time and you go through all the theory but you never implement it. And it's similar to, let's say, if I'm watching a maths course and I'm just sitting there and watching it, after 2 months I'm gonna be nowhere. I will have forgotten all that. So the best way of learning a new framework, new technology, new tool is practicing. Just create something, and when you create something, you're gonna be stuck into things. You're gonna find yourself into different issues. And when you build something really good, then you might find different aspects of that framework. Like how do, for instance, you start learning on React, you would say, okay, how do I use a router in this React application? How do I use state management in this application? How do I, let's say, make an HTTP call? How do I do unit testing in React? While if you just started looking into React 101, you will go just towards hooks, React function components, class components, higher order components, blah, blah, blah. But you will not even think about the other things. So the best way of learning a new framework is to build something. Ali Ibrahim Subhan, Walaikum Assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you doing today, Ali? Tell us about your web development journey. Just in a bit, I'm gonna tell you. Can I get a job in Sweden while I'm undergraduate? Yes, you can. If you apply and they accept it, they could. It depends from company to company. Some companies are more ambitious, some companies are not. If you have not, I mean, if you don't have a degree, then your chances are low, but it doesn't mean that you don't have a chance. Your chances are low, but it's not impossible. Salim is saying, yes, you can. I'm a high school graduate and got a job in Sweden. They did not even ask about it. Could be the case, yes. Web development or mobile app development. Yeah, well, you can guide. I think Salim can guide you on Discord. Yes, about web development journey. So I started, I think, my first job in 2019. No, not 2019. It was 2013. Just after graduating. So I graduated from the University of Karachi, or Department of UBIT, or Department of Computer Science, whatever you want to call it. I started in a company called Colviz, or Collective Wisdom. And initially I was working as a JavaScript developer plus an Angular developer. So my first job was to study what Angular is and then teach others as well. So I started from there. And me and my 12 or my 11 colleagues, or you could say, yeah, we were in the same batch. So we were students of the same batch. We were hired in the same company. And then it started from there. I worked there for about, I think, 1 year, as far as I remember. And then after 1 year, I joined another company called Coder Labs. I started working as a front-end engineer there with Angular, JavaScript. And then I also started studying Node.js. So initially I was working on JavaScript and Angular, but then after a while, I also started looking into Node.js. I also started looking into Java for a particular project. It was a really small project as well. Java and MySQL. So I worked in Coder Labs for 2.5 years, about 2.5 years, I think. Then I switched from Coder Labs to another company in Karachi that is called Recursive. So I worked in Recursive for about 6 months or 5 months. I can't recall, but I worked there, and that was an amazing place to work as well. So yeah, 2.5 years in Coder Labs. Coder Labs still exists, and I think it's much, much bigger than what it was. I think I was the 7th employee of Coder Labs. And I think now they have probably more than 200, I think, mashallah. So yeah, then Recursive for 6 months. Then I started working for a US based company remotely from Karachi, and I worked for them for over 2 years. It's called Modus Create. I joined them as a senior software engineer, and then I became a software architect within 1 year. So I was working as a software architect, working on mobile applications using Ionic, Angular, creating Android and iOS applications, but using web technologies. So I worked for them for about 2.5 years. And then I got this job in Sweden, in Klarna. So I came here in 2019, 2 years ago, and I worked for Klarna for about 1 year and 9 months or 10 months. And I worked there as a full stack engineer with React, Node.js, JavaScript, Postgres, Kafka, microservices, mobile application, whatever you want to call it. So I worked there for about 2 years, and then now I'm working as a software architect at a company called Synchron. So Synchron is a company, is the current job where I am. I'm also studying in UBIT right now. Yay, let's go. So yes, I know in the, or at least in the industry, they're more UBTians than anyone else. So kudos to UBIT. UBITians are just like, if you know the joke, UBITians are just like bhutto. So instead of हर घर से भुट्टो निकलेगा, it's like हर company से एक UBITian निकलेगा. That's what happens. By the way, I did interview with you in Klarna with you, SN. This is how I subscribe you on YouTube. Remember me? Is that? Yeah, I remember you, Salim. Of course. Did I interview you, or did we start in? Did we start interviewing together? I mean, were you? What did we call it in Klarna when you're new in interviewing? Salim, if you type exclamation Discord in the chat, you should be able to find the link. Yeah, we called it shadowing interviews. Did you shadow me for the interview, Salim, or did I interview you? Ali Abdul Jilani is asking, is university matters? Yes, it does. Definitely it does. I mean, not the university, but your degree. That matters. If you get a good degree, then your chances of getting hired are good, I would say, in general, in short. So no one usually asks like, hey, what was your CGPA in university? No one has asked me that in my 8 years plus of experience. So yeah, but they do ask for your degree. Definitely. They asked me for my degree, then I had to send them as a print. Drink water and stay healthy. Yes, definitely. Nope, you were candidate. Okay, that makes sense. Fun fact, I think in 1 year of Klarna, or maybe it was just 2020, I think in just 2020 I took over 90 interviews in Klarna, and that was crazy. 90 interviews. Some of the people, or some of the candidates that I interviewed, were actually even more experienced than me, like 20 years of experience. I was like, okay, let's try this out. Some of them were good, some of them were okayish. But yeah, if you try exclamation Discord in the chat, you should be able to find it. Let me see if I can get it for you. Channel dashboard. Or did I open it here somewhere? It was here. Yeah, the pipeline is crazy in Klarna. I haven't seen any other company like looking as fast. It seems like, why don't I get this command being running? That's interesting. I should have a command called Discord. Yeah, it should be working. I'm doing BS CSS from Balochistan University. Awesome. Sounds great. Hamza Ilyas is asking something. Ikra University or UBID? Doesn't matter really. It depends. I mean, I would say that at least in my knowledge, any universities Pakistan is almost the same in terms of what they teach. It's mostly you yourself who's gonna be putting the efforts. And yeah, being a software engineer, what mostly matters is your own efforts. To be honest, you get some knowledge from university, but meh. Yeah. In short, yes. That's what I would say. What about Baluchistan University, Ali Abdullah? How is it in terms of studies? Do you have good teachers there? Mhm. When I start looking for Black Friday deals now, Angular cookbook. Ooh, I didn't know. We also got some good reviews on the UK market. That's cool. Wow. Oh, I didn't see that. Interesting. Teachers are average. Okay. Hamza is asking, what was your first salary in IT field? I think my first salary was 18,000 Pakistani rupees, as far as I remember. And then I got an increment of, I don't know, maybe 20,000 when I graduated. So when I joined, it was a bit less, or or it was okay. Hello, hello. How are you doing, Matt Fury? So yeah, it was 18,000 back then, as far as I remember. Should be right here. But yeah, in IT, if you spend good enough time, do you play outdoor games? No, I don't. I think the only outdoor game I like is just going out to eat something. That's my favorite game right now. I just go out and I eat. Easy peasy. What about you, Ali? Do you play outdoor games? I should change the settings of this message that I display. I'm hungry now. Which games do you play, Ali? Do we have the drop game here as well? Maybe not. Maybe yes. Oh, we do. We do. Oh, and look at that. Who got 65 score? That's me. Cricket and football sometimes. Awesome, awesome. I don't really play games. I do play indoor games as much as I can, usually. I used to play some video games, but now I don't get even any time to do so. Now I don't. I only code now. Coding is my life and my day and my night. But I would love to play some games sometime. Maybe when I have a lot of content out there and I don't have to push a lot, then maybe. Why does it keep highlighting the message? That's sad. Anyways, yes. So that's pretty much it. All right. It's good that I finally had a glass of water. Completed. Do you want to see me learn Swedish right now? Because I use this application that is called Duolingo, and that helps you learn Swedish. But you look fit to me? Yeah, because I've been doing keto diet for the past 2 weeks. And I go out to eat. So when you walk a lot, then you get better at it. Please teach us about what is state and state management in React Native. Okay, for sure. I'm gonna create a video on that. For sure. Do you want to learn some Swedish with me? Everyone, chat. Duolingo is great. Absolutely. Yes, it is. It helped me a lot. Are you good at Swedish now, Selim? Or are you still learning? Because it has been 2 years since I'm here in Sweden and I'm not really good yet. Okay. All right. So in 5 minutes, my food would be ready, which means that I'm gonna get off from here. But let's learn some Swedish together. And it takes about 5 minutes. Oh no. Oh no. I dropped from the Obsidian League to the Pearl League. See? Better luck next time you fish 28 and blah 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 blah. So I dropped from, in Duolingo you get all these badges and then you need to. Jag talar svenska nu men det är inte mycket god. Mycket good. So you're saying I speak Swedish now. Det är inte mycket good. Men, I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that is, but it is not very good. So I can read some Swedish. I mean, I do know about some of this stuff, but I'm not really good. All I know about Swedish is that I can say jag talar inte svenska. I don't speak Swedish. Please talk English to me. Or jag är en man. Or something like kvinna äter bröd. Ankan simmar till flickan. What are your thoughts about freelancing? It's so competitive now. I think it's good. I mean, freelancing is a really good opportunity. So yeah, I think it's good. It could be competitive, but it doesn't matter. I think you translated very well. Thank you. Yeah, I can read it sometimes, but whenever I think that hey, I should start viewing Swedish movies or let's say radio, whenever they start speaking, I'm like, it's just like I don't understand even a single word, and that is because they speak so fast. Although Swedish is usually very like melodic. Jag talar inte svenska. And it's like so melodic. But when they're speaking in, at least in the movies, it's so fast. Yeah, I don't usually get there at all. What about free code camp certification? That is really good. I highly recommend doing that. It actually covers a lot of bases for you. All right, so let's do some Swedish. Let's see what they have. So they have support, Vim. Should I change my camera to look at my phone rather? Let's try to do this. I'm gonna change my camera. Something like this. Maybe we can do something like this and see what happens. So we got support var for y vem. I know y is vem. No, it's not. Oh, sad. And I'm gonna close this so you can also hear that. I think who is vem. All right, that's okay. Girl is flicka. I know. Over is over. Duh. Y is var for. And support is slotar. Stotar. He is walking after me. Now he is Han. And walking is essentially går. So just like you say go, then it's går. And then after is, I think, framfor. No, it's after. And then me is mig or may. Yeah, so that's what's happening. Hey, let's go. All right, what else? I'm gonna get rid of this wire. It looks weird. Weird as hell. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. So then we got bird. The bird is fågel. And then after is after. Then we got boys, which is pojkar. If you don't know what it is called in Swedish, boys is pojkar. And colorful is färgglad. Färgglad. And this G here, färg, and then glad. Swedish is weird. And then we got sandwich, smorgås. Hey, let's go. Now it's gonna be tough. They are singing in front of the children. So there is dom, hunger, framför, and then barnen. That is the children. So yeah, Swedish is not really easy, but it's quite similar to English when it comes to the grammar. So check. Okay. We are doing good. I'm gonna be doing this so I can do this correctly. Let's see. What else do we have? We have next to. So next to is brevid, and then under, under, through is genom, and then we got salt. So tough. Salt. And then we off of. All right. And then it is Han går after me. I'm gonna close this to my hand so I can actually see this. All right, let's see. So we got Han går after me, which means he is walking after me. There we go. I am under you. This could be the monster under your bed saying, I am under you. That can be the only thing. So it would be jag är under under dig. And that means that apples are under the bear. And that is probably the worst situation in your life. That could be the case. Do you plan to go to SFE? Yes, I try to do. I plan to do. Let's see when that happens. Most likely in December or January. But yeah, super close. So apple air or applet. Now, when they say applet or applin, that is usually with the word the. So the apple is under, and bjornin also means the bear. So we are probably good here. Okay. The dog stands next to the horse. The dog is called hund. And then the dog, which means hunden or hunden. And then is stands. Stands is usually store. Store. And then next to is bredvid. And then dog is, or the horse is hästen. Alright, let's do this quickly. So pojken, the boy. Springer is running. Framfor is in front of, no, yeah, in front of the man. Mannen is the man. I made a mistake. No, my 2 hearts are gone. I'm outside the restaurant, so see. Ja är. Framfor is, oh, I think utanför is the one. Let's see. Exactly. Restaurangen. And now these are the ones that I actually have to speak to them. Otherwise it doesn't work. So it's hunden står bredvid hästen. Hunden står bredvid hästen. Hey, let's go. Mannen och kvinnan äter utanför restaurangen. Hey. And that means the cook is cooking the food outside of the restaurant. Something like that. Kocken lagar mat utanför restaurangen. The cook is cooking outside the restaurant. Yeah, exactly. De sjunger framför barnen. Framför barnen. I think that was it. De sjunger framför barnen. Yeah. Barnen flyger fåglarna. Now this sounds like alienistic to me. Let's hear this again. Över barnen flyger fåglarna. Över barnen flyger fåglarna. I'm close. Alright, the children jump over the turtles. Barnen, or how do you call the children? It's barnen, right? Yeah, barnen. Hopper. And then over. Turtles is hold. Now this is fun. Turtles is called hold padar or hold padorna. This is like Pashto, like over. Now this is hold, which is written like scold. Pador. Nah, this is probably the funniest word in Swedish that I know of. Yay! The hoppar was not okay. Oh, I wrote hoopar. It's hoppar. Yeah, so the boy is running. Framfor is, I think, in front of. Front of the man. Yay! Let's go. Ah, this was a tough one. This was a tough one. And I'm sweating now because of how tough this was. Anyways, this was fun. This was a small live Swedish failure challenge for me. All right, everyone. I'm gonna take off now. Thank you so much for joining in. बस बहुत हैं वरना मैं कल टेस्ट भूल जाऊंगा. Yes, I can agree. All right, everyone. I'm gonna take off now. I'm gonna be working on some things later tonight. I'm gonna eat something, and then we have our next stream on Wednesday. So make sure to chime in then. It's going to be at 6 p.m. CET, which means it's about 10 p.m. Pakistan time. So I'm gonna see you then. Thank you. Make sure to react to the stream if you have not already. Make sure to subscribe and follow if you have not already. Have a great rest of the week or the new week that's starting. I hope you have a happy Monday and happy rest of the week as well. And I'm gonna see you later. Good night.